I think your season is as remarkable as ours. You could come second. You can't mess about with this team. They know what they're doing defensively.
Good morning and night, everybody. This, of course, is a preview for Nottingham Forest v Liverpool this Tuesday. I'm joined by Pete BOC. This one feels massive, doesn't it? How are you doing, Pete?
Yeah, really well. And yeah, I do think it feels massive, to be honest. It's not usual that this fixture would be, but you look and kind of go, this is a massive banana skin for any club. And obviously, you've already beaten us at Anfield. So yeah, it does feel like a much, much bigger game this time around. Yeah.
Well, before I properly start, I will just say make sure to like and subscribe, fix this awful statistic for me, and, well, I'll get on with the proper questions. What have you made of Liverpool's season so far? I know they've blown a lot of people out of the water. As a Liverpool fan, how has it felt for you?
It's felt incredible, to be honest, mate, because you look at, we didn't sign anyone in the summer, really. We brought in Chiesa, but that wasn't really a first team, so, as in the starting 11 signing. And obviously new manager, and you're expected to decline. Everyone who supports Liverpool expected us to probably push the top four at best, certainly not up for the top of the league. But it's also not just a Liverpool thing. You see the massive decline of City, and someone's got to take advantage. You would have expected it to be Arsenal. It's ended up being us. We've played really good football for most of the season. And most astoundingly for me is it's just the way Salah's just gone, by the way, I'm the best player in the world, pretty much. And I just said, I don't care about, it's not just about his output. Every single game he's getting man of the match. He's absolutely just on another level right now. So to watch it and to watch Liverpool and to see us top the league, top the Champions League, in the semi-final of the League Cup, through to the FA Cup everything is going the right way for Liverpool. So yeah, very happy.
Well, I mean, you touched on Mo Salah there. Just how good has he been? How much praise have you got for this fella? He's been unreal this season, hasn't he?
Every year you get the output, of course you do. That's why Salah's in every FPL team probably in the world. But with Mo, what you've seen this season is he's still getting double man marked, all that sort of stuff. It's like his physical upper body strength has just gone another level. He's just wrestling people off him and kind of going in around them. He feels confident. Maybe the setup is suiting him a bit better. I think Trent is slightly less inverted and maybe not coming inside every single attack. So maybe that's giving him some fluidity or some other options, or maybe it's taking other people out of the game and giving him some more space, because every match he just seems to pick up the ball and do something brilliant with it. And you go, where's this coming from? I mean, there's a lot of criticism. People like Tom Garrett in particular will say things like, Salah is absolutely brilliant and he's guaranteed 30 goal season, but he doesn't play well most games. And I actually kind of agree for a lot of the last 2 years. But this season, like I said before, you talk and player of the match almost every single game. Gravenberch was amazing at the start of the season, but Salah is carrying the team who are now top of the league.
Any other players who go under the radar a little bit who you think are particularly big standouts to look out for aside from Salah?
Yeah, the first thing I'm thinking is probably got to look at Gakpo, who's also contributed a lot of goals himself. And with the quality of Diaz to be taking him out of the team quite regularly and Gakpo playing left wing, you've got to be playing well. And he is really, really trying to prove himself to be worthy of a starting 11 position now, which I don't think many people had him as. I mentioned Gravenberch. He was absolutely on fire for about the first 5 games. He's not exactly fallen away, but it's gone a little bit more under the radar, the work rate that he gets through. And you just your stalwarts, your Van Dijks and Allisons, who you just expect to be brilliant every single match, and they just are. So yeah, I'd only really say Gakpo is someone that you might not necessarily have noticed so much that he's actually performing exceptionally well every time he plays.
I think that coming off the back of such a long-serving manager like Jurgen Klopp, it was always going to be a very tall order for Arne Slot to replicate it, and it looks like he could even be on the way to doing better. How much has he either met or exceeded your expectations this season?
He's exceeded everybody's expectations. Liverpool obviously haven't won anything yet, but we couldn't be doing much better. The thing is, with Arne Slot, a lot of people touched on this. It's quite similar football to how Klopp was playing. We have possession more than most teams, and what we used to do is have that possession in the final third. We actually now mix it between our own third and the final third, and that just kind of stretches games a little bit and gives us a little bit more maybe counter-attack opportunities, or just just other ways of building up play. And I think that's what's most kind of aesthetically pleasing. You're watching Liverpool, you go, we're actually playing good football, like good possession, good passing, and not just the same sideways balls that you saw quite a lot in those latter years with Klopp. I mean, Jordan Henderson probably the standout person for doing that. Literally stood on about 20 yards from goal and made 3 or 4, 5 sideways passes. You never really felt like he was ever going to penetrate or do something that's going to actually create that goal opportunity. And we just needed to vary things, and that's all Arne's done is just gone. We're quite comfortable having the possession at the back four for a little bit, and then we'll go long. We'll play a long ball, or we'll do something different rather than always passing to feet.
How much? Well, I say this in a bit of a headway, but it feels like you're leading the way in just about every competition that you're in. Obviously, taking a defeat into the second leg of your Carabao Cup tie, but that's against Spurs, who are currently drawing to Tamworth as this is being recorded in the 87th minute as well, 0-0.
So good.
How much, if any, silverware do you think is on the table, or do you realistically think that Liverpool can get their hands on this season?
As you say, we're in all 4 competitions and progressing. I think if Liverpool, you've got to remember that about a year ago, Liverpool were on for the quad and then fell out. And every year, when you're still in all 4, you're thinking you're going to win all 4. No one's ever done it. It's probably not going to happen. I think you've got to be looking at 2 out of 4 for the position we're in right now would be kind of what Liverpool fans are expecting. One of them to be the Premier League title. And then, look, if you get Premier League and a Champions League, what a season that is. But if the thing in Europe, you don't know who you can get in all the sort of rounds when you start progressing. So, yeah, I'd say a Premier League and one of the cup competitions.
That's pretty good for anyone's first season in
100%,
management, yeah. Isn't it? What do you think that the full 11 will probably be, if you had to pick it?
I would probably say so Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, and Robertson. So there's probably the back 5 you'd expect. For me, I would probably go with Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Gravenberch, but it might be Curtis Jones. It almost doesn't matter too much which it is. Front 3 will be Salah, probably. I want to say Jota, depends how fit he is. It'll either be Salah, Jota, Gakpo, or it's going to be Salah, Diaz, Gakpo. Jota should by right be the person who starts as the number 9, but yeah, it's all fitness. Depends.
Sort of getting past the Liverpool section here, and how has this season for Forest looked as an outsider, just sort of, hearing the other results, just seeing people start to slowly rate us as the season goes on? How's that been, and how do you feel the season has gone for us so far?
I think your season is as remarkable as ours. I really do. But I mean, to say it again, Liverpool are top of every single competition that they're currently playing. Yes, they lost 1-0 to Spurs. You look at Nottingham Forest and go, what has happened there? And I think it's really right that Nuno has got a lot of the praise for that. Like he has been a revelation at the club, and he's always been a good manager. I really rated him when he was the Wolves manager. I was surprised they let him go, but he's been excellent, absolutely excellent. And it's interesting with Forest because you've obviously brought in players that haven't quite made it at other clubs, and like there are players you kind of go, they're good. Can you get a tune out of them? You've got a similar situation as Bournemouth have got now, where you look at it kind of going, there's actually 4, 5, 6 really, really top players, like top Premier League players. What's his name? Aina, the right back. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure you say. He's been amazing. He's been absolutely outstanding. You are, everybody knows with Forest, you are lacking a bit of depth. Everyone's expecting that couple of injuries and that'll be it, and you'll fall away again, and you'll end up coming 6th or something, which is still a good season, by the way. But right now, ride the wave and just keep taking advantage of all those teams that are really underperforming. City, especially. Obviously, United are dreadful right now, which is just fun to say. Nottingham Forest have surprised everybody. I'm sure as a fan, you weren't expecting to be where you are now.
But not even nearly.
But you've got to respect going to Anfield and winning 1-0. And I don't begrudge that victory. You played the exact perfect game. You sat back, you always defend well, you don't give away a lot of chances. You solidified that, but you've got some danger going forward. It's like you've become like prime Everton defending mixed in with proper attacking now. And I'm like, damn, they're a proper team.
Well, see, we're getting a lot of words from some of the older generation that this is a lot like how it felt when Clough was in charge. We've got a real sort of identity, which is so fun to see. You know, be solid at the back, be fantastic in attack. Well, yeah, just rapid countering and playing up there with the big boys. Evidently, third in the Premier League is just incredible. The depth thing is something that I've heard quite a lot of, but I mean, we played against Luton yesterday. We made 11 changes, and we didn't get out of second gear, and we won that game pretty comfortably. So,
And Luton are
I
decent.
suppose,
Like Luton aren't a pushover. They're all right. Like
of course, it's not like it's a non-league team. We had them at arm's length the entire 90 really, and it's just. It's a joy to see, because I think the players are realising their roles. Like, we've got some players who are starters and some players who are finishers. Like, I'll give you an example, a massive example in Morato. He's played, I believe, 13, maybe 14 times for us. In that entire, every time he's come off the bench, aside from I think one where Murillo pulled out with injury in the warm up. And he's come on, we've gone to a back three, and we've conceded 1 goal in 13 appearances that he's had when he's been on the pitch. And that's outstanding, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. If you were Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, you'd be really proud of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be getting that at a club. And I'm not trying to say this disrespectfully, because Forest are a big club. Everybody knows the Forest are a proper football club, and one of the most revered in the league, but obviously not of late, not in recent years at all. To be hearing that kind of stats from one or two individual players, that's where you go, that's probably the manager then. That's good management. Like, he's getting the right thing out of you. He's playing the right formation. He's playing the right players at the right time. Fitness seems good. Brilliant.
Well, I don't know. It's the mentality that he's got drilled into this squad is fantastic. You've got players who, even when they're not playing, they're still working so hard and stuff like that. Even if they're just going to be coming off the bench like Morato does most weeks. I suppose the money question though is where do you think, if you had to predict now, that Forest are going to finish in the Premier League?
I think logic would say 5th place, because I think
I'd be delighted with 5th, so you're not going to upset me. Right?
You could, well, I'm not trying to upset anyone, but I'm saying honestly, you could come second, honestly, because other teams will start to look at Europe and say, well, let's concentrate on that. You could take full advantage, but I think you've got to look for other teams to really kind of fall apart as in multiple teams, for you to be getting the points to get into that top 3 or even top 4. You've got to remember, this season, by the way, 5th place still could be Champions League, because of the way things are. So you could still be in that competition. Well, you have to go to the qualifiers, but whatever, you'd get through that. Yeah, for me, as everyone says, 3 players get injured, but you can say that about every club in the country. Like, 3 Liverpool players get injured, we're not going to be top of the league, but in the Premier League. Like, it's that simple. 3 players is massive. If you ride the luck, you play the way you are, I see a European place for sure.
That's fantastic to see. It's so unbelievable just hearing people talking about us like this, because at the start of the season everyone was saying we'd go down, and all of last season last season we stunk the Premier League out. Worst, I believe it was least points tally for staying up since the start of the Premier League, I'm pretty sure. And that's, we were properly poor. I think a lot of that, to be fair, was down to mentality, because we'd get one poor decision against us in a game, and then we'd just down tools, and then sit and cry to ourselves after the game about this decision or that decision or whatever, and it just wasn't doing us any favours at all. But this season, it's like, I don't know if you will have seen, we played against Wolves, 1-0 up pretty early on. We got the most stinking handball penalty not given to us. And, last season, I feel like we would have just been there and felt aggrieved about that, end up losing that lead, potentially even end up losing the game as a whole. But it's like we just didn't care. We just didn't care. And the fact that we're doing as the banner sort of said back in April, we're shutting everything out and just playing our game.
I'll give you a similar sort of situation. So last season, Aston Villa obviously overperformed expectations, got themselves into the Champions League. I spoke and interviewed a few Villa fans, proper Villa fans, and they said the only thing that's happened is Unai Emery has made us as fans, as a fan base, we go to the game. If we go 1-0 down, we don't get on the players' backs. We just keep singing and we know that the players have got the resilience and the ability to come back from any scoreline and produce the goods. And we're so ultra confident. The system works. Stick with it. Trust it. And they obviously had an exceptional season. They have probably got a little bit of a higher quality squad than Forest maybe has. So it's not a direct competition in that way, but like that mentality you're just talking about can really, really push you when you need it.
I don't think that we've actually been out of the Champions League spaces. Certainly not if it's in the top 5. We've certainly not been out of the top 5 since about November. I mean, it might be before that. I just remember really vividly being 3rd when we beat West Ham on the 2nd of November. We've just been so consistent. I mean, if there's any team, I think for Liverpool that you don't want to be playing right now, is it 7 wins on the bounce, not conceded a goal in a calendar month, Forest?
I think yeah. I mean, we struggled against Manchester United. They actually played very well. You've just got to accept that sometimes the opposition plays all right and you got to draw. When it comes to facing a team like Forest, we've both mentioned it now, so defensively sound. This is the thing. It's not just keeping a clean sheet. It's actually, you're not even facing that many shots. Like, you're so compact and so well, like people are having to take pop shots from 30 yards out to even have an attempted goal. Liverpool don't play that way. Liverpool have, I mentioned about attacking from the defensive position, as in long balls from Van Dijk, etc., going over the top. It won't work against Nottingham Forest. You'll be deep, you'll be compact, you'll be solid. So I'm expecting you to pretty much play exactly the same way that you did at Anfield. Not bothered about how much possession you get, not bothered about trying to spray forward at every opportunity. Play for corners, play for counter-attacks if you can get them. Be solid and keep a clean sheet. Liverpool will hate this. Like, Liverpool will go into this game going, we're probably going to have more of the ball, but how many true chances are we going to be able to create against you and your keeper? Maybe 3. Like, that's how you go into the game. You go into the game with that mentality. You go, you've got to take your chances. You can't mess about with this team. They know what they're doing defensively.
This is a huge occasion, I think, is going to be this. It just feels ginormous. I don't think there will have been many better atmospheres at the City Ground since the times we've stayed up, potentially.
Do you go into this game feeling we've got a really good chance of actually beating them again? Like, I go into this game thinking we should beat you, but if it ends up being a draw and you look at the rest of Forest's results this season, that's not a bad result. And every other season, a draw against Nottingham Forest with Liverpool is a really bad result. Now it's not.
Well,
do you go into this game thinking we've got at least a 50-50 chance of beating them?
I don't really think that that's the way that we're looking at it, funnily enough. And I don't know if this will... Well, we'll see from the comments, see if people agree with me or not. But I think that the way that we're looking at it is, it's a massive opportunity. It's, showing the Premier League what what this new Forest is all about. But we're not sat here worried about it. We know that all of the pressure is on Liverpool right now. There's no pressure on us here at all. We're playing absolute top of the league. I mean, we've already taken 3 points off you this season in the league, and that's better than anybody else in the league can say, and you've played everybody. So that's a lot better than anybody's going to take off you this year, 3 points already, and I think it's a brilliant result. We'll be all bang up for it. If we sense that there could potentially even be a win on this card, or even a draw, then, smell blood and be properly loud and properly intimidating. Has this Liverpool side ever really struggled when the crowd necessarily isn't going their way, or the game isn't going their way?
I've got to be honest, we've actually been quite resilient. So we have been poor, average at times in first halves, and we really step up second halves. Like, we are a real good second half team. So not really, but I suppose I was just thinking of points. I'm going into the game thinking the chances are we'll concede a goal. I kind of expect it, to be honest, not because we're not. It's just the way that we play. We're so open. Like, teams score, we can get a goal past us. So then you start to think we've got to try and score two past Forest to win the game. It's a flip of a coin, honestly, mate. You just don't know. I don't expect silly goals. I don't expect a penalty or something like unexpected, some diabolical defending or something like that to happen. As I say, you seem so assured. So you go into the match and just think, on paper, Liverpool have to win the game, but if you're definitely going to score a goal, as I'm saying, we've got to get two. Like, odds on, it's probably going to be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I would certainly take that. I think all 30,000 odd people that are going to be in the City ground, well, aside from that away end, of course, would absolutely be delighted at a 1-1 draw, when we'll probably end the season as the only team to not get beaten by Liverpool at some point, realistically. If we were to not lose there. No, it feels like such a massive occasion, because at this one we've just got nothing to lose. We're already punching well above what everyone thought was our weight, but we don't know if will be our weight. It's just incredible. Could you give me? Well, I mean, you have actually just given me a score prediction, so I can't really.
No, it's look. I think I'm sure when you do these match previews, most people back their own team because that's just what you do. It's what you do as a fan. I would go into the game, if I was putting a tenner on it or something, I'd say 2-1 Liverpool. Liverpool will win the game. Salah will just do it for us because he's that good. So if you want my honest prediction, I'm saying Liverpool to win 2-1. But I can 100%, I could definitely see a struggle for Liverpool to score more than one goal and the game finishing 1-0, which is what I sort of was leaning on before.
Thank you very much for coming on, everybody. If you're still watching, then make sure to like and subscribe. You've been watching for I don't know, it'll be 25 minutes now. Why not? Don't miss the vlog on Tuesday. It's going to be incredible. The atmosphere is going to be like nothing else. Check out my other vlogs as well. I've already vlogged us beating Liverpool once, which is pretty nice. Granted, it was like 2 years ago, but remember to ingest cheese. I'll see you all in the next one. Good night.